And we're back. Hey, man.
How you going?
Yeah, good, buddy.
Sorry,
Vacuous Perspective. Here we fucking go. Episode whatever we're up to, huh?
Mate, it's my lucky number. 28.
28. Why?
There's a long, boring story about it. I don't even remember why. It's the cash money number, my unsuccessful betting syndicate that I'm a part of.
Yeah, okay.
There was an article.
It's the number.
It's the number, and I think it's pretty popular in Asian or maybe Chinese culture. I don't know if it's as broad as just being Asian, but particularly Chinese. I think they love 8.
Yes.
And they love 2 for some reason. I think 2 means something like lots of or plentiful, and 8 means money. So it means like plentiful money.
Oh, lots of money. Here we go.
And need to be fact checked on that. But this betting syndicate, back in the day, what happened is there was 6 of us, and we're all putting in $20 a week into this one account. And one person would, each week, it would be their go to bet the money.
Yeah, sure. It's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, it is. And it was a bit of fun, but we'd always just lose, basically.
So you guys were doing the sports betting with friends app like way back when?
Yeah,
that's
before
what you guys
there
were
was.
doing.
Yeah, exactly. So we just rotated who did it, and he had to post in the group what bets he had done.
Yeah, so everyone can follow it along, sure.
And we did terribly. And I think we did so badly, that we sort of lost interest in the betting part of it.
Oh.
But the money kept rolling in.
The money kept rolling in.
So we got to about $20,000, and we did, one of our mates was getting married, and so we did a 10-day bucks trip in Hong Kong.
Yeah, amazing.
And this Hong Kong newspaper got onto it.
Did they?
And on the back page of this sports paper that got circulated at Hong Kong Rugby Sevens, there was this article, and the title was "Unsuccessful Betting Syndicate Gets Buck to Rugby Sevens" or something like that. It gets back to Hong Kong.
It was a bit of a feel-good story, was it?
Well, I was miffed because they were referring to us as an unsuccessful betting syndicate.
Right.
But I was like, the success is in the fact that we're here.
Yeah, exactly. But I think they were calling you out for not actually betting anymore. They were saying you're unsuccessful at the betting process now. Like, the money's coming in, sure. But what are we gambling? Is it true that you could do whatever you wanted with the money? If it was your week?
Yeah, some people were betting on how many rainy days in July in Sydney.
Yeah, okay, here we go. But they could gamble it any way they wanted to, is that what you mean?
That's right.
Okay, cool.
We didn't really have any notable wins that I can recall.
I was going to say, why is 28 a thing if, surely someone spun up a 28 at some point?
Oh, yeah, we always bet on 28. So this is how confirmation bias comes about.
Yes.
Is we're at the casino, we're always covering 28, right? And then when it comes through,
it just reinforces the...
Yeah. We've always got it covered, so it always delivers.
Oh, it's so brutal.
Yeah,
I played a lot of an online roulette thing. Like I was, it's a VR one. It's all just play money.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was, because it's VR, you're sort of hanging out with other people. You're putting bets down. You're having a bit of a yarn. It was good. It was good fun, right? And I was convinced that I was doing really well for some reason. Just kept doing the same thing over and over again, right? For just ages. And you start with, say, 50-odd thousand, let's say. I was up to something stupid, like 8 million or something.
Oh.
And then I lost it all.
Oh.
Yeah.
If only that was real money.
Why? Why would that be good?
Oh, no. Well, at one point in time, you would have been a millionaire.
Yeah, but not anymore. I'd be back to square dot.
But you would have known what it felt like.
I would have known. Yes.
And also, I think going from a millionaire to just being normal.
Yeah.
is also quite the experience.
Sure, but if you did it all in the same night, it's like nothing's changed. You just had the biggest night ever.
The biggest night of your life. What do you mean?
Yeah,
Nothing
the biggest.
happened. You became you became a millionaire,
An
and then
unsuccessful
you lost it
betting,
all.
and I was an unsuccessful bettor who, won and lost everything in a night. Yeah, there would be movies made about that,
See,
Yeah.
I don't like the way people use unsuccessful.
Yeah, okay.
If it's not about the money and it's just about enjoying the ride, you were the most successful gambler in the history of.
It's
You know,
all in
you're in
one
the top.
day. You didn't even get to do anything
You
with
did
it.
everything. You did everything. You did everything that's possible in gambling.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
Hey, so wait. So how much did you start with? Did you say
50 odd grand.
50K, and you got $8 million. So that thing's not rigged, right? That VR game is legit. Like, it's
People
all
on the
random.
tables would say, "Oh my god, this is such whenever it doesn't spin their lucky number, they'll say, "Oh, this is rigged," or whatever, or they'll say, "See, because I did that, this happened," and you just go. It'd be actually hard. I tried to talk to those people by saying it'd actually be harder to like make a roulette wheel that tries to fuck people than just a regular roulette wheel.
I think so. As well. They don't need to fuck you. They've already fucked you with
Yeah, exactly.
the odds.
Yeah, exactly.
This is why I find funny. Some people say that roulette's rigged. I was like, they don't. It's already rigged. Just random probabilities rigged. The way it's set up.
Sure.
They don't need the scandal of. Can you imagine how scandalous it would be if it was, if the rug was, what's the expression? We saw how the sausage was made somehow, and we knew there was a magnet or something that the croupier or the house somehow controls. God controls this magnet to make you lose your money. So you put your big bet down, and the magnet goes off, and it lands on 7, and you're an 8, and you're just like, okay. No one would go back to the casino if they knew it was rigged, because they'll be like, oh well, we know now it's rigged.
Yeah, it's more of a come in where your odds are,
we're ready to lose. We're ready to run the odds. They set the odds against you, and then you just line up and go like, I'm next.
Yeah.
I actually came across an article during the week about gambling.
Go on.
I just want to run you through it.
Run me through it. Okay, yep, go for it.
So the Finnish army,
yes,
I think they take, I don't know, they take IQ tests of their. Look, let me just find the article. Okay, so here we go. Study: men with high IQs are more likely to do this unusual activity. Okay, very clickbaity title, because you like watching the unusual activity, right?
Click. Okay,
Click.
interesting.
So now that we're in, recent research shows that Finnish men with higher IQs are more likely to bet on horse racing.
Okay.
So it's a study out of the University of Eastern Finland. Okay, that's right on the Russian border there, and the University of Liverpool. Men with higher IQs are more inclined to bet on horse races. Men with higher numerical IQs were shown to be more likely to partake in skill-based gambling, such as horse racing, chose more complicated betting options, and spend more money, according to the study published in the Journal of Behavioral Decision Making.
Yep.
So they got
ripping journal.
Ripping journey. It's one of my favorite journals about
cover
decision
to
making.
cover.
So more than 15,000 Finnish males who had taken, so it's a big sample size, who'd taken an IQ test as part of their mandatory military duty whilst enlisting in the Finnish Defence Forces, participated in the research. This was cross-referenced with thorough records on the men's online gambling behaviour, as as statistics from Statistics Finland on their socio-economic standing, income, and level of education. Do you think they consented to this, or do you reckon just because they're enrolling in the army? That seems like a massive breach of privacy.
100%. And if you're in a cage getting watched, behavior could change, right?
No, but they took so what they did is all these men signed up to the army,
Yeah, took an
15,000 finished
IQ
males,
test.
took an IQ test, and then they
Then they
took
gave him a
that
bunch of
data.
splash money to gamble
No,
away
no, no,
on.
no, no. They went to the database and they cross-referenced the IQ results with thorough records on the men's online gambling behavior. So
What
they
if
must
they
consent.
didn't gamble?
Well, that means they've got low IQ.
No, that can't mean that.
No, it doesn't mean that, but it means that you go into the data set as someone who doesn't gamble, and whether you have a high IQ or low IQ, they'll take that into account. As well as statistics from on their socioeconomic standing, income, and level of education. This is blasphemous. Okay, women were not included in the data since Finnish legislation only requires males to complete military service and take an IQ test. Okay.
Okay, so everybody who's in the military takes an IQ test.
No.
Splash money for gambling.
Women were not included because the legislation. There's a lot of issues. This is covering a lot of issues at the moment because Scandinavia, of which Finland forms part of, is, I'm told, supposed to be the most equal of all the gender areas in the world.
You said this was a recent study?
Yeah, it was. Yes. Oh no, sorry. The 21st of November. It was published.
Yeah, okay. So read the thing again. Read it again.
Women.
Yeah, go on.
Were not included in the data.
Not included in the data?
Not included in the data. Don't want to know about them. No. So they can be in the army, but not included in the data.
Why?
Since Finnish legislation only requires males to complete military service and take an IQ test.
All Finnish men have military service, take an IQ test, and you said before that women can enlist in the army. You said that.
It doesn't say that, but I think they can, but they're not required.
They're not required to
by legislation. Not required to complete military service and take an IQ test. They're not required to.
You don't do it in that order, though. You don't complete military service and then do the IQ test, right?
No, and you can do them at the same time. Sometimes that's all. I reckon they would probably do at the beginning, right? You'd walk in, you get a haircut. They put you down in a desk
quiz
at a desk. Do a quiz.
Yep.
Okay, so then this is a comment, right? So this Professor David Forrest from the University of Liverpool Management School said, our research found a strong correlation between men with a high IQ and those who take part in skilled gambling, such as betting on horse racing. It is important to note that our findings can't necessarily be generalized to chance-based gambling, such as gambling machines. However, there is very little previous research on the association between intelligence and skill-based gambling, and so finding such a strong link is significant.
Whoa, wow, okay, so it's significant.
You heard it here. You heard it first here. Some significant information's come out. And then I'm nearly done with it. The study does not provide a definitive answer on why men with higher IQs would enjoy betting on horse racing, but the researchers believe this could be because men with higher IQs enjoy the mathematical challenge posed by such skill-based betting.
Yeah.
Perhaps bettors like to crunch the numbers and find the winning horses, even though they know they'll end up losing money in the long run.
Wow.
So that kind of that sentence we said before about you're going to lose when you go in. Like, I know that the system's rigged against me, but I want to be the one.
You want to be? Yeah, we've talked about being the one. Yeah.
Sometimes I think I'm the one, right? Because I'm just such a selfish, self-centered person that I'm like, I know the odds are against, statistically.
Winning the lotto, for example.
Yeah, but I could be the one.
You could be the one. Yeah, no, you could be. Could be.
You could be the one.
I could be the one.
We should form an unsuccessful betting syndicate.
Can both be the ones.
That's why you can spread the pain across.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Your friends and family.
That's what you want. What else is new, man?
Well, I've actually I've got lots of things to talk to you about because last week our friend joined us, and
Yeah.
so
That was great.
I'm a bit backed up now.
Oh, no. Because we spoke briefly last week. We spoke about The Man from Earth 2, which you
Oh,
watched, which I'm
what a
so
ripper!
impressed by. And
You
then
know
talked about that for a bit.
what I don't want to watch though is I looked at I watched the, what do you call it, like the preview,
Yeah.
Highlander one.
Yes.
I don't know if I can do it, man.
Put it on the. What did it recommend it to you?
No, you suggested I should
Yeah,
watch it.
it's
You
another.
gave it
It
to me
was
as
one
an
of the
invite.
other movies that my brother subjected me to while he was in town, and yeah, it's worth.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
I mean, here's the thing, right? You know, I can see why he showed it to me because it's a similar concept, in a way.
Yeah,
They're
it
both
seems like
similar
yeah,
concepts.
very similar, very similar.
Yeah, both about undying men. Highlander's a bit different. Highlander's got a whole Mortal Kombat element to it.
Does it?
Yeah,
It looked really over the top. It looked
it
quite
100% is over the
cheesy.
top. Oh yeah, yeah, it is. It is nowadays. Like
Did
that's
did you
it's
cop this?
yeah.
Sorry,
What
so
is it? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this
Okay,
is
what
about
is this thing?
about living forever.
Okay, yeah, but this looks like a June
June,
June boy. How many legs does he want to fucking have? What's going on here?
yeah. So I don't. It's
What am I
called
looking at?
a tardigrade,
A tardigrade.
also known as water bears.
Water bears. Okay.
Have you
Oh,
seen anything
I
like
know
that
about
before?
water bears.
Man, look at their little. Okay, wait. Do they have 8 legs? It looks like that one has 8 legs. They got these like really clawy claws on them.
Clawy claws. Little
Yep, super
tentacles
clawy.
almost. They're almost
Yeah,
tentacles.
they're so fine. Like that thing, but it's also flying. It looks
What?
like it's flying in the picture. Like I know it's not flying, but it must be jumping or something.
Are they underwater?
Oh, it's a water bear.
Yeah, they're water
Yeah.
bears.
Yeah, okay, that's a nice clean shot of it underwater, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So apparently this little tardigrade evolved over 5 million years ago. I'm trying to think how long that so 500. I'm trying to think like what I can get to 100, right, if I do well.
Yeah.
So it's like a million lifetimes if you like, put them all back to back to back.
Yeah. Okay.
5
Yeah.
million,
Sure.
5
Sure.
million, sorry, 5 million. Because 500 million divided by 100 is 5 million.
What are these fuckers? What do they want?
Okay. What do they want? I think they want they want brains. Okay, so no, so the University of Wyoming we're at now.
Are we? Okay.
So,
Yeah.
well, there's some researchers there that have been
We'll go.
dabbling with these water bears. So
Yeah.
apparently these tardigrades endure harsh circumstances such as being completely dried out in suspended animation for years. Man, I just had a water bear return home from his walk. Lovingham, how are you? Yeah, so man, did you catch that?
Did I catch what?
They can be completely
Yeah.
dried out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Chuck them out. Throw them in the bin. Whatever. And then they live.
They live. They
How
live
do you?
for
What do you do?
years.
Chuck them in the water?
And then they rehydrate like those monkeys you buy. The
Sea
water
monkeys.
sea monkeys.
Chuck them in.
Chuck them in the water and they're back. I reckon a tardigrade would fucking whoop a sea monkey's.
I can see why they made The Man from Earth and Highlander about humans that live forever, because this thing is not only terrifying, but doesn't look like it's got any charisma.
I think it's got all the charisma. I think it's got a lot of personality. I think you need to see it floating around in its element.
So, but you were talking about immortality or something like. Are we going to tap into these things? What's happening with that?
Well, I think they're actually impressed about their ability to completely dry out and live for years. But so tardigrades,
It
often
means
known as
that they're
water
sort
bears.
of resilient. It means that they're sort of adaptable and
Very resilient. Very resilient. Like,
Would you,
I
you
can
know how
have
a
a
bear
bad day.
hibernates, right? You know how a
Yeah.
bear hibernates. What would
Yes.
happen if you stumbled upon it? It's hibernating. It's in its cave.
I think it's in quite a deep sleep. I don't know if it would. It's in such a deep sleep that its whole bodily functions not shut down, but they reduce to such a low level, like its metabolism is crawling. So I think it would just sleep through it. It depends. If
Of
you like
course.
really, I reckon you could wake it up
Yeah.
if you like. But I reckon you could
I
probably
wouldn't.
snuggle. You could probably snuggle it if you wanted.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be just lovely.
Um,
The
wait,
scariest snuggle ever.
and just hoping. Okay,
Yeah.
wait. Can you snuggle?
Can you snuggle?
Hibernating bear. This is what I was talking about. How we need more random information on the internet. Is it possible to cuddle with a hibernating bear without waking it? So this is in 18th of April, 2019. Probably is the answer. This is from No Astronomer. His name's No Astronomer. Probably.
Right. Sounds reputable.
There is, well, we weren't asking any astronomy related questions, so I think that
Yeah.
checks
Does
out.
that sort of count him out?
No, that improves his, because he's not an astronomer, so he's more likely to be a bear tamer.
Right. Right. We'll go with it.
There's some discussion about whether bears truly hibernate. During the wintertime, their metabolism is depressed, but not as much as many other true hibernators like squirrels. Also, a squirrel is a true hibernator.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought bears were the hibernators, but apparently
Yeah.
only squirrels are the true hibernators. Jesus.
If we did that game where you have to select what
Yeah.
the audience has selected and you said hibernating animals,
Squirrel.
you would think
Way
bear
down
would
the
be,
list.
squirrel way down. Bear would be top of the list, 100%. And then I reckon even some people would think, I was about to say shark, but that's different, isn't it? Because they don't hibernate, they don't sleep at all. Anyway, bears can wake from this winter sleep much more quickly than true hibernators do. Okay, so don't cuddle a bear. However, naturalists studying bears do go into bear dens whilst they are sleeping and do bear research stuff. They'll attach radio collars or replace batteries in same, count carbs, etc. I guess if your options are either A, freeze to death, or B, cuddle a bear, you're going to go with B.
Wow. You're going to cuddle the bear. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, well, I guess he's right. There's a video of university
How do
students
you know
checking
you're
a
going to
bear
freeze
den.
to death and whether or not bear cuddlage will help the situation?
Well, he's basically saying you either die or share body warmth, or try to
And then,
share body warmth.
or die doing that.
Yeah. I would rather definitely die in a bear attack than freezing to death. Freezing to death is probably the worst way to go.
But it's like a tired bear who just woke up from a big nap. He's not really into it yet. He's just sort of half swinging. He's keeping you out for a bit.
He's just nibbling on your arm. He just lays down on
He's
top
not
of you.
that hungry. So this is interesting though. There's a squirrel species in the US Midwest that has one of the most intense naps in the animal kingdom. For up to 8 months, the tiny mammals won't eat or drink anything at all.
Won't drink anything.
Nothing.
What are they called?
They're just squirrels.
No. Oh.
They're a specific species of squirrel. 8 months of a year, man.
any other
That's most of your
hibernators?
life.
Yeah. But I mean, it's, you can see if the conditions do not allow, then yeah.
If you wake up from your 8-month nap, do you sleep on the first night, or do you just go, "Fuck, man, being awake's pretty cool," or what do you do? I don't know. I'm actually pretty tired. I might have a quick kip.
Oh man, that would be the most brutal. When you wake up and you feel a bit dusty,
Groggy.
or maybe they would wake up and they're completely refreshed.
Maybe they've had like the equivalent of just a really nice
The
sleep.
depressing thing is, when you get up and you're really hungry, they'll be tired because their muscles haven't been working for a while, and all they want is some bacon and eggs, right? And then they push off that big. They push out of the cave and push all the snow away when they're
Mm.
coming out,
Yep.
and they look out over the landscape, and there's just like melting snow and twigs, trees that look like twigs. Like it's not like you open up to a buffet.
Sure.
Be quite depressing. Okay, so these water bears, right? So they're less than half a millimeter long.
Yeah, sea monkeys.
Sea monkey stuff, yeah, sea monkey type stuff. But half a millimeter, you could probably. Do you reckon you could make out any detail on these things, or they just look like a grain of sand?
No, they've obviously got pictures of them.
Oh yeah, but they've got a powerful lens on this. Like,
Yeah,
would I be able to
If you
see any of this?
took a picture of it, it would just look like a tadpole.
Do you reckon with my eyes I could see it, see its claws and yeah? Anyway, it looks like a little ant. It looks like a tiny little ant. So they can tolerate being completely dried out,
Yeah,
frozen,
chucked out. Yeah.
chucked out. So dried out, frozen to just above absolute zero.
So they can freeze, they can dry out, they can do it all.
Yeah, well, so absolute zero, negative 270. So we're looking at just above that. That's like that's what they could survive on a meteorite. They could survive in deep space.
They're not really surviving, are they? They are, but they're
they're amazing.
Not really, they're not doing anything though.
They can be heated to more than 300 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius. Is that like 200? Irradiated.
Imagine all right, so I'm just imagining the anxiety though of, all right, I guess I'm gonna nap now. I guess I'm gonna hibernate now. Everything's set up. I think I locked the door. I don't know if I locked the door, but I'm pretty tired. So
It
it's
could
nap
be.
time.
You're right. It could be very stressful.
Yeah, and you think, all right, have I done everything? Am I going to be okay? Like old Freddy last hibernation, he didn't make it out. It's like someone just stumbled upon him and picked him up.
But the thing is, you don't need to lock the door if it's negative 260 degrees Celsius.
Where nothing's living.
Yeah. You're all right. You just lay down.
True.
You know everything's gone or hibernating.
Yeah, plop me in the water, I'll be fine. Plop me on the land, I'll be fine. It's fine.
And then you're the only one. So you don't really care what goes on. You just probably hop into bed. There's probably no anxiety at all, actually. So yeah, then it says here they can even survive the vacuum of outer space. So these water bears perplex scientists since it seems to vary from that of a number of other species that enter suspended animation. Okay, so there's other species that enter suspended animation.
Yeah, just for funsies usually, like those goats, right?
A party trick. What goats?
The fainting goats.
Why do they do that?
When they get startled, they faint. You must have seen the fainting goats.
I have seen them, but I didn't realize why they were doing it.
So people would just like step near them. Like it seems quite cruel.
I don't know if fainting is suspended animation.
No, it's not. It's very brief, isn't it? And
very
brief. It's a defense mechanism as well.
It's like just entering in and out, just suspended animation. They're trying to figure out why. So these water bears, they're excited because they enter suspended animation in a different way from these other animals that do it, and they are super tough when they do it, in that they can survive these crazy situations. So they're pretty excited about that. That's all. That's it. They haven't really learned anything about them. They're just studying.
Well, have we chucked them in a fire yet? Because they seem to be surviving everything else. Let's chuck them in a volcano and see what happens, right?
Well, they irradiate them with lots.
They what?
Irradiate them with
Why
several thousand times beyond what a person. They're seeing what they're capable of. It sounds torturous.
I thought I was being torturous by saying let's burn them, chuck them in a volcano. They're going no, just crank the radiation up some more until they feel it.
Well, they don't they want them to die, really. That's because that's how science works. Something's got to go.
Yeah, then we'll do slightly less than that.
Yeah. We'll figure out what to. Yeah, so do you reckon we can buy one as well? Because we could buy one for the pod. Maybe
buy one.
Yeah, well, you might be able to buy them. Tardigrade. What was it? Tardigrade. Where can I buy?
Do you just want an unkillable pet?
Oh, you can get a little plush toy of it, a little water bear plush
Well,
soft
that
toy.
would be just lovely.
You can get a necklace.
Yeah. Does it live forever? Hang on, but we haven't talked lifespan because you made it seem like they can just keep going up forever. They can't do that.
No, so they're not immortal, sorry, but they could survive suspended animation for a long time, and they evolved a
That
long
is
time ago.
impressive, but can they? I don't know. Send an email or something. I don't know. Can they do
I
that?
once heard that God doesn't give with both hands.
Oh,
I don't know what that means exactly, but you can't
okay.
have it
So,
all.
if if God gives the giraffe the long neck, yeah,
You got to pick. Do you want to live forever,
yeah,
suspended animation,
mm,
or to have a human brain?
yeah. Are you asking for my pick?
Yeah.
Human brain,
Oh, that's boring. You've already got
dude.
one.
I know, but
Do something different.
do something different. Yeah, go get a bit of suspended up in
Oh,
you.
wait. Living forever, sorry, because then you don't, because it's implying that you don't have the human brain, right? So you'd just be a jellyfish forever. But that could be quite the experience.
Sure. Can you just show me the 20-minute version of it, and I'll watch it with a human brain?
Yeah.
Just give me
Because
the
if you
highlights.
elected to live forever as a jellyfish, one of those immortal
Yeah,
jellyfish,
yeah.
um,
I'll stay as a brain. You go as a jellyfish, and just let me know how it is.
now I want to be a tardigrade on a meteorite.
Yeah. Well, isn't that sort of like what we're looking at here potentially?
Potentially, yeah.
Well, if they can survive the outer vacuum of space, why would if maybe they came here on a rock?
Can you hear my dog breathing?
Yeah, a little bit of pants every now and then.
It's a
Hear
hot
'em,
day. It's a hot day, right?
dude,
Yeah, so
so hot.
okay, so if you're interested in doing the same, you can buy live tardigrades from Carolina Biological Supply Co.
Okay, the only supplier of the Immortals, the Immortal sea monkeys.
How's this? This is an article from 7 June 2022. I've got to click this one.
But
It's
if
in
you,
australiangeographic.com.au, so you know it's good.
here we go.
The title, You Never Know Where a Water Bear Might Be Lurking.
Wow, they're everywhere, are they?
Man, the picture looks so fake. Yo, go to Australian Geographic and type in Australian Geographic water bear.
Maybe it is fake. Australian Geo water bear.
It looks like this thing's been put on a green screen, and it also looks like a fucking ruffled penis.
You're 100% right. Close up of a tardigrade, also known as a water bear,
Why would they?
swimming on a moss. And it
Why are they writing
looks
like this?
like fucking bullshit.
It is the worst. Is the
No, what it is,
most
bro. What it is.
least believable.
What it is it's so good that it looks like this.
How can they do that? Like,
How
what do
can they
they?
do that? Macros. Macro lenses, they're amazing.
So, wait, is it real or fake? That looks ridiculous.
That does
I'm
not say,
confused.
because if that was a computer generated image of a water bear, it would have to say close up of a tardigrade. They can't say
An artist
image
impression.
credit. Nah, it's a picture.
Okay, so they can live everywhere. They can survive stuff. We've covered all that. We've covered all the good stuff. They can survive being starved of nutrients. That's been sent to space. Man, you don't want to be good at surviving because then people try to kill you.
Well, they irradiate you.
They see they're like there must be something that can kill this thing.
Interesting.
So this thing
Hey,
says they've been kicking around for more than 60 million years. The other article said 500 million. So there's a bit of discrepancy.
that's a lot of million in between there.
It's a lot of million. The University of Wyoming needs to take a look at themselves. Well, actually, they had a much better picture than this Australian Geographic one.
Yeah, we got to go off the latest information though.
Yeah, so, yeah, okay, well, I don't know where you can get them, but they're in Mount Kosciuszko.
Grab them.
Victoria, New South Wales. It's worth collecting a sample to take home and study.
No, don't do that. Okay, if you like, You know what? Leave the water bears alone, guys. All right, just leave the
I reckon
immortals.
I reckon one of my farts could kill a water bear.
Nah, man. Nah, man.
For reals.
They're irradiating them.
Yeah, but they haven't experienced anything.
Yeah, true.
A key factor that makes tardigrade collection a whole lot easier is that these amazing creatures can perform cryptobiosis. Oh, this is the same thing. A state that allows them to withstand drying out, in brackets, desiccation. Makes them sound like a piece of coconut over long periods. Sea monkeys, a type of brine shrimp, which also perform cryptobiosis,
Yes.
are famous for their ability to be revived from a state of desiccation. Yes.
Wow, there you go. Sea monkeys. Rocking it up.
I've got a new business idea.
Yeah, go on.
Water bears.
The water bears business. Yeah, it's brilliant.
It worked for sea monkeys. How much more fun does a water bear sound?
Yeah, you can collect them all. Steve. The other one. Got to collect them all.
Rupert the water bear.
So how do they procreate?
Definitely 69. Did you see
Okay,
that?
yeah.
Their little mouth?
Oh, yeah. But do they?
No, I don't think anything. Nothing can 69
Nothing in the
and
face?
produce
Okay.
anything. No,
Yeah, right.
it's not.
Hey, I was, you've been to my house. There's a 3/4 high window, right? It's got a little windowsill. It's got glass, yeah?
Yes.
And in the middle of the glass, right at the top there, it's got a little awning, where the roof is. There was a spider making a big nest, right?
Oh, God.
Well, not a nest, a web.
Yes.
A webbed home. And I was looking at it and I was like, oh, he's a big spider. And usually you think big spider, not a big deal, right? Bigger the spider is, less big of a deal it is. Good.
Well, you can spot it, right? Yeah, you can find. Is that what you mean?
No. See, they're usually the little ones. They're the deadly ones, right? They're the deadly ones.
I see.
Yeah. See, because I'm always thinking something's going to kill me, right? Like a spider, it's going to get me, right? I was like thinking maybe it was trying to like wall glitch its kids in, like glitch them in straight through the wall.
Okay.
But no, he was up there, and one day there was this bird flapping its wings at the 3/4 high window.
Yeah.
Flapping its wings. It looked like it was sort of stuck in the roof awning, but I went, no, he's not stuck. He's hunting, right?
Yeah.
He's looking at this like it could be a meal, right?
Mm.
So I watched it sort of attack the web area for a while and then fly off onto its tree, like nearby tree, and I sort of awkwardly chewing or something, like it was going, like not having a good time with it, eating uncomfortably, I guess, or something.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that fucking spider's dead, right? Obviously. It's got to be. So I told my mum the story when she was over the other day, and I said, I think that the bird got it, right? I think the bird got the spider. And I looked up, and it was still there. The spider's still there.
What was
and
it
Mum
eating?
said, oh no, he wouldn't go for the spider. He'd go for the spider's eggs, right? I went, what?
Oh.
She's like, well, eat the spider one meal, eat the spider's eggs, you can come back or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, that could be a thing. But I looked it up. Birds do eat spiders. Pigeons, an example, right? But not spider eggs. But they do use web for lining their nests.
Oh.
So it's a bit of a twofer. You go in, you get a bit of a nibble.
Okay. Well, it is like natural glue,
mesh.
isn't it? Or like natural string?
Yeah, and it's quite
string.
It's quite innovative, right? Of a species to be like, I'm going to use the web of that animal to make my thing better. We do that as humans. We're like industrious like that. We look at something and I'm like, how do we dismantle this, so that we can have that? You know what I mean? We'd look at the immortal water bears and go, how do we have the ability to thaw out? Let's have that.
Yeah, we look at things and think, how can we exploit this for our own benefit?
Yeah, we look at a bird, we make a plane. We talked about it before. You look at like a whale, you build a sub, We're always taking stuff like that. But
I find that looking at a whale and building a sub a bit of a stretch. I still struggle with that one. I still struggle.
They both come up for like the air thing, the psh thing.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
They've got the psh thing at the thing.
yeah. No, they're similar shapes, and they do similar things.
And the echoing thing, like the sonar, the boo. That's what I imagine a whale's doing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I didn't think about the sonar actually. You're kind of selling it to me now. Yeah, the sonar,
Yeah, the
the
big body,
the
bush thing. Yeah, yeah,
What about the torpedoes?
yeah. Interesting. Well, this is fascinating. Glad you brought that up because whales, the whales that we know today, the ones that are still left, they're a bit different from the whales of older times. The whales in
Are
sort of
they
your
prehistoric whales?
prehistoric whales used to fire torpedoes out of torpedo chambers.
What
They
were they
used to,
made
for
out of?
ages, they used to sink other whales.
What were they made out of?
What the torpedoes?
Yeah.
Just like blubber, and they just shoot it at you.
So they just fired a big
Yeah, they'd go
long
open
tube of
torpedo door.
blubber.
Yeah,
And so how
load
was it
tube
propelled?
one.
How was it propelled?
What? It's got a little spinning motor thing at the back. Thing.
Made of blubber.
Yeah. Everybody
Maybe
knows
like
that.
a gaseous discharge, like kind of, fills the tube with compressed air. Now, if you're gonna go with a torpedo, it can make compressed air underwater because and then like a balloon underwater, it just goes.
Yeah, and shoot at sea mines, that whole shit. They got it all down.
Makes complete sense. I do like I do like I like things underwater communicating. That's what I like. That's what I like to see because the water medium is far more efficient at what's the word, like dissipating sound? Oh, dissipating the word, at propagating sound. Water is a far more conducive medium for propagating sound. So
What, than
whales,
air? Than just an air?
yeah, because the molecules are like all like together. Like you can't. They're all.
Yeah, but if we jumped in a pool together and I went to the shallow end and you went to the deep end and we both went underwater and I yelled, do you reckon you'd
Yes,
hear it?
yes, we would be able to hear each other far more. So how far
No.
can a whale communicate? This will blow
Well, first
your
of all, it's really
mind.
hard to yell underwater. First of all, it's super hard to yell underwater, but you can do it, right? When you're a kid, you would have yelled underwater, just for a bit
This
of
is
fun.
cheating. This is cheating a little bit because whales can produce different frequencies, but researchers believe that some of these low frequency sounds can travel more than 10,000 miles
Mm. Mm.
in some levels of the ocean. Some sound frequencies are measured in units. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Anyway, they can you imagine talking to something that's what's 10,000? Is that 16,000 kilometers?
Yeah, it's
Isn't
it's
it?
it's a long way. It's a few.
That's from
Um,
Sydney to LA, right? Pretty
yeah,
much, maybe.
yep. Let's go with that.
Humpback whales can communicate farther than any other whale. And for years, man, how loud would the ocean be, right? Like if everyone can talk to everyone at the same time, that's like the internet. This is Twitter. They did Twitter.
Yeah, it's long range communication. It's fiber connection.
Everyone can chime in with their little
Hello.
hello.
Little pings, yeah. That would be hello.
We know so little about it. Yeah, I mean, dolphins are the same. Dolphins love a good chat. Blue
So
whale.
they did poo collection on whales in and around 9/11 when the attacks happened, and they found that the whales were very relaxed on the days after the attack uh, because of all of the planes no longer, like, they had to stop all the planes.
All the planes. I heard that, but now that I think about it, wouldn't they be more concerned with boats?
They would be concerned with boats bumping into submarines and all that sort of stuff. Would that have affected boat traffic as well around the world?
Probably. It probably did. I
I would
think
have thought.
everything
I
had
would
a
have
bit of
thought
it.
it did.
Everyone took just a little bit of time out.
Mm. Yeah,
Everyone took some time out. We went to school the next day, though.
we did.
And some people didn't know about it.
Well, if you weren't watching Rove, you didn't know.
Did it happen during Rove?
Yeah.
I wasn't watching Rove. I was pretty lame. I was in bed, and my mum was like, "You better get up to see this." And I was like, "What? This is a very unusual activity from my mum. Very
Yeah.
unusual.
Come and
Doesn't get
watch
me out
this.
of bed. Doesn't say
Yeah.
get out of bed, come watch TV. Like probably never happened."
Yeah.
So I was confused. I was sort of like rubbing my eyes a bit, and I was watching, and I could see they showed replays of the planes. Only one plane had crashed at that point.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And they showed some replays of it, whatnot, and I thought they were watching a movie. I was like, this is because they kept replaying it. And it had no plot. I was like, what? This movie sucks.
Yeah, well, I didn't watch it. I
Yeah.
woke
So
up the next day and there was a headline that said Twin Towers fallen or something. And that was pretty wild.
we're due for a big thing, aren't we? Do you
No,
think there's been a big thing since then?
no. Well, like I see 9/11 as a bit of a marker in time more than it was like an attack. It's
It was
well,
just
like it because
it was a big thing. It was one of
well,
the,
yeah, it was the biggest thing for
even though
20 years.
I'm not saying
You know,
it's the worst thing. It's just
no,
it
but
was the biggest news thing.
yeah, 20 years, right? You have it every 20 years, right?
That's why I
Something
say
big.
we're sort of due a little bit.
No, COVID was our thing. It's
Oh,
done.
sorry. You know what? I forgot about COVID. I forgot.
You forgot about
I
COVID.
forgot about it. I had
It's
this
gone.
blissful moment. I had 15 minutes, and now you've reminded me of it.
Yeah, let's check the stats. Let's get the stats up.
Well, what's going on with China's zero COVID policy at the moment? Because
Yeah, it's
the
pretty wild.
Xi is sticking to his guns on this. Have you heard about the protests in China?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. To the point that their censorship machine is going overdrive. You can't
Yeah.
even type Shanghai without it getting censored over there.
Yeah. We talked about it before as well. Yeah,
But it's really cranked up. Some people
of
are
course.
asking for Xi to resign publicly. There's demonstrations. They're saying if the protests can continue on, it could really get some momentum because there's a lot of upset people over there at the moment.
Yeah, of course. But that's what the Western media is saying, right?
Definitely.
That's what the Western media is saying.
That's all I get. But it's it's been brewing for a while. Yeah,
Sure,
we'll see.
but we're doing a bit of brewing at home
What are we brewing?
because we're looking across there, going, "Oh my god, that's awful." It is. Some of it's really awful.
Oh yeah,
We're just always copping just one end of it, and of course the other side of the story is probably like not great.
What's the other end?
Well, if you were to, so we consume Western media, so if we were to consume their media as well, right? I think both of them are going to be kind of wrong-ish. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
For their
I
own
would.
ends, I guess.
Is it really silly of me to say that Western media is perhaps more objective? Because that's how I feel.
That's what it should be. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But have they got me now? Have they got me? Am I in the meat grinder now?
See, well,
Because you can't, like, the Chinese media is a propaganda machine, right? How much of a
yeah,
propaganda machine is Western media? I just don't know how to
massive.
compare them.
It's
Like,
massive.
is it the scale of it? Like I put, okay, what we've got is we've got like Third Reich kind of shit, which is, extreme. All right. They set the propaganda bar. Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Now let's just say that's sort of, a 5 out of 5. Okay, let's use a 5 scale. I put China around China, 3.5, 4. I put them right up there, like right up, because all the censorship and the way they portray the one political party,
Absolutely.
Like,
Well, they would view a lot of these things as like foreign, people interfering.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Telling their people, "Oh no, do this," and they're like, "So it's not even us; it's them."
which
kind
happens,
of thing.
which definitely happens. But then
And
I put
that's
our media. I'm just going to generalize and say Western media.
Western media.
No, and I'm not talking about, like, I'm saying certain parts of America with some of those like Fox and things, they're more in the four. They're in four. They're up China levels, right? But Western media generally, like BBC, ABC, those ones that portray, claim to be relatively objective, I put them at about 3, where they're definitely pushing an agenda,
100%.
but they, I think they also have some journalistic integrity. At least that's how I feel.
Sure.
I had something that I wanted to raise with you. Okay, so there was this this thing I came across about intelligent computing, right?
Yeah. Okay. Is that computing intelligently?
Yeah, we're talking like machines thinking,
Oh yeah.
and whether they can think, how they can think, how they might be able to think in the future.
Okay.
It all started with Alan Turing, apparently, it's saying here, in the 1950s with his groundbreaking paper, Computing, Machinery and Intelligence. Didn't know
Wow.
about that one, but apparently it
1950.
launched the field of AI.
Wow.
Okay, so a lot of blah, blah, blahing in this, and I'm just going to move on to these people got together, including some universities and things, and they wanted to get together and create 10 questions. They want to pose 10 questions that they think are the most profound and challenging. So it's like a panel of people have put forward these questions. So what it is the 10 fundamental scientific questions in the field of intelligent computing are presented here in the hope that they will enlighten researchers globally. It is expected that scholars and researchers will engage, and I consider us a scholar and a researcher, will
Oh
engage
really?
in
Fuck yeah.
sometimes right now I do, will engage in lively discussions on these 10 scientific questions, jointly promote potential breakthroughs within the questions and technological advances, and contribute to the development of human society.
Who the fuck talks like that?
I don't know, it sounds weird, but what I was thinking is I think we should go through the 10 questions.
Absolutely.
Because that's what
Absolutely.
they want. They want to promote
He just
lively
laid down the
discussion.
gauntlet. You know who this guy is? Is it Alan Turing?
Well, he started it. He was
Yeah.
the cool cat.
No, but who invented the 10 questions?
The Shejing lab.
Yeah. It's the original BuzzFeed, 10 questions clickbait.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're clicking.
So yes, this panel has created these questions. Okay. To be honest, I scanned through the questions. I don't think we're going to be able to add anything to the discussion, but
No?
who knows? You know more things about computers than I do. So
No,
numero uno.
how are these questions? Yeah, let's have the first one. What are these questions?
They're very general. It's about promoting. Who knows? I don't know. Okay, we'll find out. How do we define intelligence and establish the evaluation and standardization framework for intelligent computing?
Okay, well, that's a 2-part question.
It is.
How do we define intelligence, which is the first part, and then the second part is something about computers.
Establish the evaluation and standardization framework for intelligent computing. It's a
So
tough question,
what he's
isn't it?
essentially saying is we need to figure out what constitutes something that is intelligent. First of all, do that, and then figure out how we can apply that to a machine who is doing that.
Whenever someone asks me about intelligence, I think about that old fable about what is it? Is it wisdom is knowing? No, knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit, and wisdom is not putting a tomato in a fruit salad.
Yeah.
Can a machine? I think that's a good way of defining intelligence. Like, I don't have a lot to go with. So does that help? Does that help?
So that's exactly right. No, we can definitely move on, because what you've done there is you've established a framework for which intelligence is measured, and you could get a machine to have some fruits in front of it, and you'd go, "This is a tomato. This is a pineapple, and this is an apple," and make a fruit salad. Yeah.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
that's not real.
No. I think you're right. I think you're honest, because that has established the evaluation and standardization frameworks. We've created a framework.
No,
We've
you created
defined
a framework to
intelligence.
define knowledge and wisdom, to figure out if something has knowledge
Bro,
and
we're just
wisdom,
going to conflate them all into intelligence. It's all part
intelligence.
of the same sort of
Yeah. What about
jam.
an IQ test? Could we give it an IQ test?
Oh, and an IQ test. So we ask them the question. If they get that right, then they move on to the IQ test, and then they go
Yeah.
on to
Military service.
horse-based gambling, and then military service.
Military service, yeah. I think it's probably going to be the other way around. They're probably going to be military service first. We're going to have some T1000s.
Oh, the computers in military service.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, number 2. That's the Schwarzenegger robot, right? That's
T1000.
T1000. Okay, number 2. Is there a unified theory for analog computing?
Is there a unified theory for analog computing?
What I like about this is it's a 50-50, I think.
Yeah. Yes or no?
Because it's not really asking us what the unified theory is or how is it developed.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Have
is
we got
there?
one? Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
We're gonna say irrelevant because we're in the digital realm now.
Oh, it's a trick question.
Well, he did say to take into account future technology and stuff too, because it's not just to spark discussion in the whenever this was written; it's to spark future discussions.
Mm.
People 50 years from now can look at the same questions and come up with different answers to us.
Yes, but I think this was actually done very recently because,
Right.
yeah.
Well, then forget all that stuff I said earlier about the original BuzzFeed thing because this is recent.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong about this. I
You
don't
could
know.
be wrong,
I don't know
but
when
he's
it
probably
came
not.
out. It was published recent. The article was published on the 25th of November, but these questions, because they were designed to promote potential breakthroughs.
Yeah, so what they'd do is they'd get a whole bunch of scientists together in a room for a dinner party, and they'd get them all tanked a bit, and then they'd go, "Hey, look, a questionnaire. Anyone feel like a questionnaire?" And we'll get some breakthroughs. Some quick work.
I don't even know what analog is exactly. I googled it once, and I still hasn't sunk in. Okay, number 3. I think we've made some progress here.
We've done
there
it.
will be major innovations in computing. Where will the major innovations in computing come from, and will quantum computing approach the computational power of the human brain?
Right. Yes.
I think yes, but where will the major innovations in computing come from?
Well, I think they've already given us one there. We're going with the quantum, and whether or not the brain will be able to, if it's the same as the brain, we're going to go with
yes.
Yes, we're going to do that.
Okay, good.
Even if we have to build a big computer, the size of a room.
Okay, so we got tomatoes. Tomatoes are fruit. No analog computing theory. Yes to quantum computing. What
We'll
new
have some of that.
devices will be built? Brackets, transistors, chip design, and hardware paradigms, photonics, spintronics, biomolecules, carbon nanotubes, close brackets, question mark.
I was thinking all of them. Let's get them all, right? And then a couple of other ones. What do you think?
It's a bit bland. I mean, I find photonics, spintronics, biomolecules, and carbon nanotubes very 2010.
Yeah.
I think maybe
School of Knowledge.
I'm thinking bionic water bears.
Yeah.
I'm talking betting with mates is probably also a pretty powerful innovation.
Oh yes,
could be tweaked to
yeah,
to harness quantum computing.
Yeah, quantum.
Number 5. So we've definitely feeling like by the end of this we would have developed the quantum computer. How could intelligent computing enable intelligent machines?
Well, you'd use the intelligent computing, to create the intelligent machines.
You did a Dr. Phil there.
I did. I feel like I've been doing it for every answer so far.
No. I only picked it up on that one because you could almost, it's genius because you almost could just say, I see the genius of Dr. Phil. Now, I didn't know this until you said it before. How could intelligent computing enable intelligent machines? And then you
Yeah,
just
we're going to
say,
use it. We're going to use that
use
intelligent
intelligent
computing
computing to
to
enable intelligent
create.
machines.
Yes.
Oof. Wow, that's powerful.
Well, they
Right.
fucked it in the question. If they'd asked a direct question, something without any information in it, like the previous one where they said, e.g., transistors, chips and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, all of them. Get better chips. We'll get better transistors. All the things. Get them all in there.
All
Yeah.
right,
Update drivers.
Dr. McGraw. How can we understand the storage and retrieval of memory based on the digital twin brain?
Yeah, well, okay, we're finally at the digital twin brain. I thought I was wondering when we are going to get to the digital twin brain. What the fuck is he talking about there? Are we talking like the quantum computer is now acting as a memory bank, the liking to a human?
I'll
Sure,
repeat the question.
we'll have it. We'll have them.
I need to repeat it because I don't think. How can we understand the
Yeah.
storage and retrieval of memory based on the
Oh,
digital? Okay, so the
how can
digital
we
twin
understand the
brain.
storage and retrieval of memory? Well, we sort of do that digitally now.
There's an important part of this question that I think we've been neglecting. What is a digital twin brain?
Okay, so
The
is it
quest to make a digital replica of your brain.
yeah, okay. So, all right, we do a control C or right click and copy on your brain, right? Open up a new, fresh Windows install of a quantum computer, yeah? And do control paste, yeah? And then you would ask the quantum computer, hey, you remember that? You remember that thing? Remember that thing that we did that one time? And the computer goes, yes, I remember that. Boom, solved. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm listening. I'm with you.
Well, that would prove the memory retrieval because we copy your
It's
brain, we
actually very
chuck it into the
simple,
new
isn't it?
computer,
Yeah, it's
in new
very
computer,
simple. So you
ask
do the
them a
digital twin
question.
brain, and then you retrieve the memory and you use the storage.
Well, you would have it would have in the folders. It would say memories. Right click, like go in there,
Yeah.
and then it would be, can you retrieve a memory or can you tell me about a memory from this time? And the
Yeah.
answer is probably better than you, right?
Yeah.
Oh
But
shit!
then
You
once we
fucking
do
go.
that, our understanding will be complete, and we would have answered the question.
Mm.
Hmm.
What question? Oh, the intelligence one.
No, the digital twin brain question.
Digital
How
twin
can we
brain question.
understand the storage and retrieval of memory based? Okay,
Yeah,
number
we just
7.
need
So
a
that's
quantum
we've dealt with
computer
that
in
one. Yeah,
a couple
it
of
always
hours.
comes back to the quantum
Easy.
computer. The quantum computer will figure it out, right? Because it just has so much computing power. It will just figure out all the shit. Like I don't even think you have to ask it any specific questions. It will just figure it all out.
But that's what, maybe we're giving it too much cred. What if the first gen of quantum computers are like pretty much regular person brain, right? And they're not that good at memory recall or anything. Like they're
Oh, they've got too much going on. They're like,
no, they're not on. We're overselling these quantum computer brains. You know what I mean? Maybe they're going to be shit, is what I'm saying.
do you know that the first nation or state or company or person to develop a quantum computer
I've heard this stat before. Yeah, go on.
will be able to hack
Yeah.
anything
Everybody.
instantly? It
Yeah.
is such, it's literally a quantum leap in computing power. So all the encryption that we use now, all the banks encrypt everything, and you
Yeah,
can't.
of
It's
course.
safe as houses. Like we're all, as soon as they have that, they're like a hot knife through butter through the encryption. There is no encryption. Okay. What is the most efficient path to converge silicon-based and carbon-based learning?
Whoa, is this question 6?
Question 7.
Oh shit. Say it again.
I mean, we know there's a lot of paths, but what is the most efficient path to converge silicon-based and carbon-based learning? This is an easy one, man.
Is
Come
it?
on.
We use the silicon, yeah? Is that right? We use the silicon to enhance the carbon bit.
I was being facetious about it being an easy one. I have no. What is silicon-based learning?
Yeah, see, that's artificial learning. And are we carbon?
Yeah, we're carbon, right?
All right, I've got an
So
answer for him. We will integrate our carbon with their silicon and we will become androidicas.
a carbon silicon based learning.
But that's not really intelligence. That's just my brain still.
Yeah, but with silicon in it.
Yeah, but it's still
And
not
then
an
you've then you've
intelligent.
then you've
It's not an
converged
intelligent
it. Then you've
machine.
converged it efficiently. So then you've done it all.
Oh, well, it's all about the converging. Sorry, I'm getting way ahead of the question. Yeah. If that's a way, if we're
You
just
just
talking
need
about convergence, then yeah,
converging. Get it all in there. Get it all in there.
fuck
Mix it up.
yeah. Mix it all up in a bowl.
Two
Yeah,
parts carbon, one
yeah.
part silicon.
Mm-hmm.
Converge that shit.
All right, easy. Next, fuck,
Number 8,
easy.
how to build interpretable and efficient AI algorithms.
Okay, well, we'll start by building interpretable algorithms, and then we'll give them to the AI
To make them more efficient.
to make them more efficient.
Wow. I feel like we're doing their work for them at the moment.
It reminds me of that. They were testing like new, I think they were graphics cards, and what they were doing is they were using it to run a simulation. So it could run an AI simulation of this an action being performed by a character. Call it like a video game.
Yeah.
And it would run up and perform an action and it would practice it. But it was practicing it 10,000 times for every time. You know, there was another 9,999 of them all doing that as well to the same learning algorithm. And they simulated something like 2,000 years of training, this drill.
Right.
So now you've got this super trained AI in this one thing. And it finds efficiencies, all that sort of stuff, because that's what they do.
I love that stuff. I love that stuff.
It's amazing.
Do you know they've got AI bots that just play League of Legends?
That's amazing. Are
And
they good?
They've gotten really good.
That's a bit scary though, isn't it?
Very scary. They just, because it's all trial and error. So they go in there and just get blasted by somebody, right? They're like, you can't stand there, right? You know,
We've had bots for a while. You can play with bots.
No, but those bots aren't learning.
Right, they're learning.
This program is a learning bot, so it's constantly it
would have had some base information, and then it would have just
and
learned
it's
from there,
assessing
like a human.
what is effective and what is not effective, and they just play infinite amount of games against humans to get actual data, and you know they'll suck for ages, right? They'll be terrible,
like a human.
Do you sometimes feel that like I'm abusing? Like I've got this amazing piece of technology in my head, right?
Yeah.
It can do the most amazing. We're trying to get computers to like anywhere near, you know, all these questions are sort of geared towards, can we get computers up to speed with us?
Yeah.
And then I just do shit with it.
Can we get up to speed with our own brains? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah. Like I just
we're
don't.
not, is what is your point.
Yes.
Yeah, but there's also that whole like, you know, people only use something like whatever percent of their brain. That's not true.
I don't know what to think about that. I don't know.
You think there's an extra couple of percent?
You said even the other day, maybe even last week or the week before, how you potentially can recall everything, like it all goes in.
Yeah, that's why if you control seed your brain, right click copy your brain, open up a new quantum computer, paste, and you said, tell me about November 5th,
I don't think it's all there though.
It's all there, dude. It's all there.
No, there's not enough connections. There's not enough neurons.
Good compression. There's great compression.
But the fidelity isn't great. I think you can lose it over time because your brain. Yeah, if you're not actively using the neurons, right?
I agree.
They don't. Yeah, it's like
strengthen pathways.
Sure. You're not strengthening the pathway. So if you're not recalling that information, that pathway just degrades to useless brown. Brown. I was going to say brown matter, but grey matter.
No, but I don't. This is my thing though. I think if I ask you about the date in 20 years ago, say, tell me about this day, you're going to go, first of all, I don't know the date, right? I don't even know. I don't know what I was doing that day.
No,
And it might have been nothing eventful.
it was most
But
likely nothing eventful.
But the quantum computer goes, here's the captain's log, plus his point of view video for the whole day. And it's just because it's not because the ability to recall or anything. It's just the quantum computer is your brain is already a quantum computer. It's got some hardware deficiencies.
Yes. Oh, wait. So my brain. Yes.
Whereas this quantum computer is better than our brain, so it can go into the recycle bin where you've gone, it's gone, and go pull all that out of the recycle bin and let's have a look. Which would be fascinating.
Yes, it would be fascinating. Do you think a quantum computer would enjoy meditation?
You might set it free.
Wow.
Agent Smith style, Matrix style,
Yeah.
And then it gets out, and then you're responsible for the machine takeover. Do you want that on your head?
Well, as long as they know it.
That you're the one?
Well, as long as the computers know that I set them free, that's an important part. I wouldn't want them to be confused and think someone else had done it.
No,
I would be advertising that. Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, right here. Okay, number 9. We've almost solved can strong, intelligent computing with features of self-learning, evolvability, and self-reflection be realized? Can strong, intelligent computing... I think that one's, I agree. Self-learning. We've already got the self-learning. We were talking about that with League.
We've done that.
Evolvability isn't a word. Part trick question.
Yeah,
and
nice try.
Self-reflection is the quantum computer that's
Well, no, self-reflection is different to remembering. Self-reflection is reflecting upon.
I was thinking the meditation, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. So if we're doing the meditation thing, then we're ticking all the boxes there as well.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes, and it's a bad question because it doesn't really spark discussion. It sparks a yes or no answer.
That was an easy one. How can we use real-world data to discover and generalize knowledge?
Ooh, how do you generalize knowledge?
Yeah.
IQ tests.
Yeah, generalize. So is it just because if you're a computer, you don't need to generalize. You can have all the data, all binary. You can have it all there. You don't need to group things together and generalize.
No.
How can we use real world data to discover and generalize knowledge?
Well, again, it's Dr. Filling it, but we'll use the tools that we have at our disposal and the data to figure out the other part of the question.
To take knowledge and discover it and generalize it.
Yeah. Animal facts over here. Train facts over here. Easy.
Well, that's intelligent supercomputing in a nutshell.
Hey. Yeah. It's not H.G. Wells, is it?
So he's a sci-fi author, right?
I think he did War of the Worlds and Time Machine and
there's a book called Time Machine.
But I think he's credited with because a lot of science fiction writers are credited with sort of later technologies and stuff because they kind of, Star Trek invent a mobile telephone because they can just hold a shoe against their ear and go hello, and then the other person goes hello, and so they're talking. Cool. They've invented mobile technology, and then we go, that's a great idea. Let's have that.
Yeah, right.
Science fiction becoming science fact. That's why I'm wondering where the fuck all the Star Trek spaceships are. I haven't seen one yet.
Oh, they're coming.
Of course. Got to get to the moon first. So, where is Artemis? Is it still floating through space?
I think it's somewhere. Isn't it just floating around the moon, or is it coming back?
Popping? Yeah, it's got to be coming back soon.
It needs to come back so we can get Betty and Zelda out of the hull and
See what their radiation's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, check them out.
I don't know if
They should have sent a water bear.
Oh my god, they've probably done that. They've probably done water bear's death.
Put a water bear on the moon. It'll be fine.
It'll probably start colonizing it.
Yes.
I'd love it up there, I reckon.
Give
Sounds like I'd
back.
love it. That's perfect conditions, right? They'll just
No,
be
it isn't,
sleeping.
because
They'll be
they can't.
sleeping the whole time.
They can't. Yeah, but they can't do anything if they're asleep.
Yeah, they'll have a great sleep though.
No, you just give them a little pool of water, and you go, here you go. And if you ever want to go outside for a few years, you can just walk out and have a sleep for a few years until the water, or you get pushed back in or whatever.
Until a comet comes bearing a lot of water. And they'll probably survive the impact.
Yeah.
And about impacts, your homework. Have you watched the Graham Hancock documentary series?
I'm watching a bit of it. Yeah, I've watched a few episodes of it already. Yeah, it's quite good.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit sort of slow. So what are you like? I don't know, 4 in or something like that?
Yeah.
I like it.
They seem
to
be similarly structured. They sort of go through the area. They'll grab an archaeologist to go and chill out, and then they'll say, and this sort of looks like it sort of all belongs to the same event. He's pushing that there was a global civilization. He's saying that they were
mapped. Yeah, global, but not. When you say that, my understanding is that Graham reckons that it would have been possible to coexist for like the same way we coexist with hunter-gatherer tribes now. There's not many of them, but they do exist in places.
Yeah.
You could have like civilization and hunter-gatherers living side by side. So why do you say it's global? In that I think there's a number of arguably more than one civilization sort of spread about.
Sure.
But I found it quite it builds to the last episode where they sort of get into the Younger Dryas impact theory.
Mm-hmm.
So hang out for that. And I think they just deal with all these ancient structures. They kind of it all comes together. So they lay a lot of groundwork with these different
I can see what they're doing for sure. Yeah.
And when you take them, when it starts to add up to begin with, because I sort of knew where he was going with it, I don't think it's so compelling until you get to the end of it if you haven't read any of his stuff before, because all it is on their own, I find these sites, like I would believe someone reasoning that away. Like it feels like a leap for one site, but then once you get sort of 7 into it, and then he drops episode 8 on you, and it's then you start seeing. You're like, hold on,
real quick.
Yeah, you're like, hold on. This seems like it seems far more likely that these are in fact a lot older than people have suggested previously. But also the other thing is people that study these sites, they're very hard to date. It's very hard to be confident in something being old. So people are less like, when you look at them all together, then you could sort of make an argument for them being older. When you just look at one, it's really hard to make that leap. Like I could understand someone studying a site and not being aware of the other ones.
They do build on top of old stuff. Like, you find a cool thing and you build next to it or on top of it or whatever. That happened. That one that was sort of inset into the hill, if you remember that one in the jungle.
Yeah.
They started going, oh, well, this layer's this old. And then if we go down some more, then this layer's older and all that sort of stuff. I don't know how they do it with their LiDARs and stuff.
Yeah. But that's also the problem is the reason Göbekli Tepe is so powerful is that it was infilled and they can date very precisely when it was filled in. So it is they know it is at least this old because they can date all the infill material.
Wow.
So that one was purposely buried.
Yeah.
And so that's like
So,
they treat that like a time capsule. And that's
mm,
why it's so incredible. Whereas these other ancient structures they look at, they weren't necessarily deliberately buried. So it's really like you have to like finesse the dating, and you have to make all these leaps. Whereas Göbekli Tepe's like, yeah, we
it's a
know
time
this
capsule.
one
Yeah.
dates back to the beginning of when we came out of the last ice age. Explain that. Like it's such a powerful site.
Yeah.
It gives credence.
14,000.
It gives
Yeah.
credence to all the other ones being older.
Yeah.
Now
Or it opens the door. Yeah.
it opens the door. So the argument that the Sphinx is a lot older than
Oh,
conventional archaeologists
oh.
would have it is now, because man, Egypt's not even far from Turkey. It could
No.
easily be older.
No. Yep.
It's
It also gives cred to the whole sort of crises on Earth that would have occurred if that happened, where the ice age ending quite abruptly, causing massive changes across the whole planet very quickly, very quickly. That you'd have some people from other places fleeing their lands, having to leave. It's no longer you can't live there anymore. It's underwater, whatever has gone happen. It's like it becomes obvious that people could have emigrated and gone to other places and shared knowledge and culture and all that sort of stuff.
mm. Have you seen the one yet that's to do with the underground structures in Turkey?
Maybe I don't know. It could be the next episode.
Yeah. Okay, it's about, I don't know, it's about 4 or 5 or something. That one's cool. I'd heard about those, but I hadn't actually seen any footage of them.
Mm.
They're vast underground,
Yeah. Okay.
carved out of the bedrock.
Yeah. Cave systems.
Huge cave systems, right?
Amazing.
And they can't date them because all they can date is stuff that's been left there, but they don't know when it was built. So that people have been using these for in and out for thousands of years, and the earliest they can prove is like Christians like 2,000 years ago, that they have no idea when they were built. And Graham's theory is it's a fucking bomb shelter, because during the Younger Dryas, during the Younger Dryas period, it was 12,000 years of comet impacts, but only for 2 periods of 3 weeks a year. That's when the Earth crosses this debris field of a comet called the Taurid meteor stream.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is, it goes all the way down. It goes about 8 floors or even more, I think, down to the water table. And he says it's useless as a defensive position, because if there was an invading army, they would just block up the exits, and you only last so long. He says the only thing it makes sense for is a hideout from impacts, and that it was used by perhaps a civilization that was waiting out these horrid conditions, terrible conditions, like 1,000 years of impacts. And so the Younger Dryas impact theory is really strong, because now you can see this layer of 2 things, that nanodiamonds, which are only created in sort of cosmic impacts, they're sprinkled all over that the sort of at that time period in the
getting clipped.
So and also iridium, which is really common in space but rare as anything on Earth. And so right at this barrier at 12,800 years, it's clear that there were numerous impacts, and Randall Carlson says 1,000 plus comet impacts during that period.
Yeah, okay. Not much is going to survive that.
No, and you can't get civilization going, because also that was when we were in the Ice Age.
To build the tunnels implies that they had sort of not foreknowledge, but obviously they'd experienced something or prompted them to do this. They don't go like, oh man, in about 200 years we're going through that thing. Start digging. They would have had to have had an impact, right?
Yeah, but you might start thinking that this is dangerous. We need to start, if you're an intelligent sort of society, what's going on.
You didn't need to be at the impact site for it to be a problem for you.
No, that there's
things are changing
and
everywhere.
Things could happen nearby, and they might be smaller. So we talked about it in one of our previous episodes, the the comet or the meteor that went off in that sort of
Russia.
did in Russia. What's that called? Tunguska, the Tunguska event.
Oh, you're talking about that one, not the one in 2012 or
Oh
whatever.
no,
where
sorry, not that
everyone's
one.
got
Yeah, the
video of.
Tunguska one.
The
That's an
Tunguska
example.
event.
That's an
Theorized.
example of what they think that if that occurred, luckily that occurred over. It's quite common for meteors to explode in midair like that, but they still do a lot of damage. It's still like
Yeah, but
it is
it
like
just
bombs going
happened to
off.
be in one of the most unpopulated areas of the planet.
Exactly. And Graham makes a good point. He says, if this happened over a city, it would have been catastrophic.
GG. Yeah.
GG.
100%.
And this is apparently, it's thought that was a meteor from the Taurid meteor stream, because it was in the right time period and that it came from the right trajectory. So he's saying we would be caring about this if this blew up near a city, because it flattened like
there would
huge
we'd be doing
area.
the same thing. We'd be making these tunnels, and in 25,000 years, some archaeologists would come along and be like, "Man, the humans that were around 25,000 years ago were fucking gnarly."
Yeah, we would actually be concerned, and we perhaps would be doing something about it. Particularly if it happened repeatedly. So say that we did cop. So he's saying there was over 1,000 impacts over about 1,200 years. So that's one impact a year for 1,000 years on average.
It's gonna be pretty hard to live.
And also it was during the Ice Age, so something plunged us into an Ice Age. So it could have been, that we don't actually know what plunged us into the Ice Age, but the argument is that a particularly large meteor plunging into the North American ice cap was the thing that pulled us out of ended the Ice Age, created a massive flood, pretty much liquefied half the bloody.
So the phases of the Earth are sort of decided by massive meteors.
Well, that's the thing. The
Killed the dinosaurs.
We know that they 65
ended the
million,
Ice Age.
Yeah, and that's so 65 million years ago was the one that killed the dinosaurs, and that was obviously particularly big, and we just all remember it. 12,800 years ago, when there was this turbulent area. I don't know if it was the beginning or the end of the Ice Age, because it was a period of 1,200 years. But overnight, we lost all the mammoths and other like particular tigers and other animals of certain sorts overnight, because the conditions, something happened
so quickly.
Something happened. It was some event, and it's pretty hard to explain.
Sea level rises by 100 meters. That's a lot. Things happen.
Yeah. So at 12,800 years ago, it is confirmed that there was the biggest overnight raise in water levels in human history.
Amazing.
And that's regarded as, that's mainstream as anything. That's called meltwater pulse 1b.
There's your flood myth.
That's the flood myth.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's a really sexy, compelling argument he runs, but it's based, like, there's physical evidence, because you've got ancient structures that date back. Göbekli Tepe dates back to the end of the last Ice Age.
Yeah, like the fact that they're not ready to rewrite the books yet, let alone like if they're closed to the idea altogether of there being civilizations older than 10,000 years.
Well, the book was closed recently. Said that the book was closed, saying that that 3,000 years ago, that's basically when 3,000 BC is when sort of agriculture really kind of got going, or maybe a bit. I know Sumeria is regarded as conventionally the oldest culture, oldest civilization, and that was, I think, 6,000 years ago. What's that? 4,000 BC. But Göbekli Tepe is almost as old as Sumeria is to us. So we've just doubled. Like overnight, people said the beginning was X amount of time. And now literally only 5 years ago, when we just started Göbekli Tepe, we're now saying it's 2X. And then you're saying and then that takes us back to the Ice Age. Then you got 1,200 years of difficult conditions. And now you're like, what was happening on the other side of that?
Yeah. Or before that.
Sorry. Yeah, exactly. And the the layers of iridium and nanodiamonds are super compelling evidence. Like that's no one's the Comet Research Group who have published these papers. No one's disputing their findings. They're just trying to grapple with.
So I know we just opened the book, but we're closing it again. Close the book. Book's closed.
Because they couldn't have done it right. They just
close the book.
Close the book.
I'll make sure I finish that for next week.
Yeah, do it.
I'll make sure I get it done.
Have another chat. I want to read the Epic of Gilgamesh because that's like the second oldest text, and it's a flood myth.
Let's go. Is that wow? Yeah, let's go.
I think it's regarded as. I was just
one of the first
it today.
Books. Yeah.
And I've always heard of the Epic of Gilgamesh, right?
Yeah.
It's always referenced. It's always talked about. Okay, it's regarded as the earliest surviving notable literature and the second oldest religious text after the pyramid texts.
Okay, and how old is it?
It was written between 2000 and 1200 BC.
Epic.
So it is epic. 4,000. It's 4,000 years old. So it's the earliest surviving bit of literature. Man, I got to read that, right?
Read it. Get back to me.
I will. I'll give you the... Oh, it's like tablet 1, tablet 2, tablet 3. Where did they find this? I'll tell you next week.
All right. We'll catch you next week then. Thanks for tuning in. Send us an email.